Helldiver 2 is a hell of a hype game. Thousands that are playing at once, server crashing, multiple online talk on multiple different media, hours of clips that are worth memeing about. The price is affordable and it looks fun to play. Hey, do you want to play Helldiver 1 though? No? You sure? Oh, okay. I mean, I get it if you think it's ass. Just, the prequel of the game you like. You sure you don't want to try it? Alright then, Oh, Elden Ring, the DLC is coming soon, right? So more content from the game that blew so many people away. And it even had a couple of celebrity praising the game. A true marvel of its time for so many people. Oh yeah, Hi-Fi Rush is coming to PlayStation. You don't know what Hi-Fi Rush is? I mean, when it got shadow dropped, it drew some popularity with how good the game was. You don't care? That's fine, All of it's fine. There's nothing wrong with someone not wanting to do something in their free time when they're bored. But it makes me think that games now are relying on popularity and appeal of the mass. Which it sounds fair, since the best way to buy anything in life is literally mouth to ears and having a lot of people play it. That'd be your friend or family. But I think discuss the issue of killing games that are either not the main appeal of the mass or recent enough to be the brand new talk of the town. Think about it. I had a talk with a friend not long ago talking about how great Helldiver 2 was. All the great stuff about the game, its issue it has, but mostly how excited and all the potential there is to come. But then, someone else in the game mentioned Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. I responded that it was a pretty good game. And that's it. My other friend didn't care about the game, and they show no sign of wanting to play it. The conversation kinda went back into Helldiver 2 and other stuff. Even funny enough, we talked about Helldiver 1 before that. One of the guys asked if the first game was good. I responded yes, that the sequel and the first game are kinda similar except for a couple of changes and the camera angle since it's a sequel. But again, the conversation died down since none of them were interested in the first game or even wanted to talk about it. They only had the sequel in mind, which again is fine. A lot of it is fine, but there's this coincidental obsession that majority of gamers have to purposely avoid past game. And I feel that it's a shame, since ignoring them or keeping old game out of the loop just make the majority of people forget about classic game. Which in general, it kinda make those games fade away without having any port or for later console general access to them in the current date. Like if I take example, still to this day there was a huge abundance of hype for Spider-Man 2 involving the symbiote and all the Spider-Man lore stuff with like Kraven and whatever, and people got really hype about the game and its new symbiote mechanic. But I feel most gamers weren't strict enough toward the game when it finally came out, since there was a better symbiote mechanic in other Spider-Man games. Take example of Web of Shadow. The symbiote mechanic in this game would change the gameplay of the character whenever you wanted by pressing a single button, compared to the new game where you go to the menu to change the skin. The major change were just changing the color of your web. And I wouldn't count the special move that use the black suit, since it's not relevant to wearing the suit. You still can play the game with mechanical arm, and in general all those powers are nothing new since they introduced it in Miles Morales. Also those symbiotic powers just feel more aesthetical than genuine. So really the black suit kinda suck ass. But check online, there's no criticism, since most people that played it never experienced something better. Even the transformation in Spider-Man 2 isn't as impressive as the one in Shattered Dimension, because of the simple reason that Spider-Man 2 transformation is just a one-type kill glorified cutscene mode, where you just match one button and instantly kill anyone. Like if you compare it to Shattered Dimension, it will more like your moves are becoming more destructive while keeping some gameplay in it. So you keep all the power of the same build without just throwing away the gameplay. Or let's talk about the reverse effect that the hype does on a game. What if right now I would criticize Elden Ring? Like I give a factual argument as to why some elements of the game are objectively boring. Since example, you're doing nothing for whatever reason, like walking on a horse trying to find an objective, or whatever. Just a quick example like that. Not a real one, but just an example. You know what I learned from experience if I made a video like that? that whatever statement I'd make, no matter how true it would be, there'd be a comment that ignored the whole video just to state that I was wrong. Like there's a video my brother made about Devil May Cry 4 long before the 5th game came out. He made a comment on the camera, how having it fixed does a disservice to the combat and that Devil May Cry 5 should adapt the DMC Devil May Cry camera style, which they did. Still, he got comment telling him he was wrong about the camera. I'm just throwing it out there. There's an abundance of hype towards hating Suicide Squad the game. Yet there's more hate to the game than people that played it. Just like there's more people praising Elden Ring than people finishing the game. So let me guess how many people share the idea that the game is amazing without at least finishing it. So it's kinda weird that there's that many people sharing the same idea of the game when there isn't the same amount that played it, or at least finishing it. Like, should I really take your opinion of the game that you didn't even play, or heck finish? Clearly I can understate how essential the ending of a story can affect the complete package. Heck, in TV show like the Game of Thrones was stuck like a peak fiction on television, then the ending happened and it changed everything. Or how about Firewatch? I never played the game, so I'm not gonna make a statement about it because I don't have any opinion on it. But I heard so many people like the game until the ending happened. And what if I just choose to play the game and then stop before the end? Certainly my opinion is kinda slightly different than the most people, right? Because most people would have finished it. Or how about I just don't play the game, but whenever someone talk about the game, I just tell everyone how bad the ending is. It feels like hypocrisy or lying, or I don't know. But I mean, here's the thing, who cares? It's fine. Everyone choose what they do with their time, and no one should force me to play a shitty game I'm not interested in playing, or that people say it's bad. Why would I play a game that people say it's bad? But I feel like the hypocrisy doesn't stop there, and that it goes both ways. Do you remember how many people complained about the 30 FPS in Gotham Knight? Where were those complaints to Zelda? And I'm not asking about if the game of Zelda was more finished than Gotham Knight. Of course it was a better game than Gotham Midnight. When it came to Zelda, people really kept quiet when it was about the low FPS or poor performance in certain moments of the game, since the hype of both games were a different spectrum. And you can say you can give it an excuse since it was a better game, but still if you complain about a game 30 FPS without having it release, and then you're not complaining about another game that has 30 FPS lock and with poor performance, that seems kinda, not fair. There's also the question of the logic behind playing a game, if we value a certain amount of time to reviewing the game. Like, did you play it too much, did you play not enough? Example, I almost platinum Elden Ring, so doesn't my comment on the game have more value than the lots of you that didn't even fucking play the game? Or does my opinion now has less value since I played too much of the game? Like, you played too much, you burn yourself out. But here's the thing again, which goes back to who cares? It doesn't matter, you don't have to play a game if you don't want to play it. And it's fine that you share your opinion with friends that you trust to not play a game, which is logical since you trust your friend. Or maybe you don't, or whatever, right? And it's also fine if you don't want to lose time to experience a classic game that didn't quite figure out its gameplay until later installment. It's fine that you rather believe in people word and repeat it. It's fine that you come to me when I played the full game when you didn't and say I'm wrong. It's your opinion. Why is it fine? Well, do you remember that one time you didn't know what to play next, so you went online to see if there was a game, any game that caught your attention? That when you found someone talking about a game he liked, and the way he was describing it, it really made you want to experience that feeling. When people talk about Baldur's Gate 3, many people couldn't help themselves but wanted to see what the big hype was about. And since people reacted fairly well at his victory in the Game Award, I suspect that most people liked what they found out, which in turn made more people want to play the game since they never heard about it. They just wanted to see why it won the award. Disco Elysium is a game I haven't played, but just hearing people talk highly about this game make me want to give it a shot, especially when I'm not a big fan of top-down camera game, which is a good sign. Also, hype revitalized games that would have been dead by now. Street Fighter 4 basically saved fighting game. Resident Evil 7 brought back a shit ton of horror. Final Fantasy 1? The company would have gone bankrupt if it wasn't from this game. Or the amount of people that know the game just because of Final Fantasy 7. So, does hype kill games since that make people biased and unfair while they ignore certain games just because it got no attention? Yes, kinda. But hype also bring attention to games that would have faded away. Games that bring people together and introduce new media in genre that some would never have tried unless of its current hype. Hype might have killed a game like Web of Shadow or Arkham Origin, which funny enough they're both superhero games. But it keep giving life to Resident Evil 4, Final Fantasy 7, Silent Hill and plenty other. My consensus? I think that listening to what people think and trying new stuff that intrigue you is always good. But don't be afraid to try stuff out even if it's badly criticized. Or to especially stand up for games that you think are genuinely good and that people just give it bad cred. You might be missing out on your favorite game, which I don't know, would be a damn shame. And so yeah, leave a like if you like this video, subscribe to not forget the channel, and until we see each other again, have a good day.
Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Too many things going on, I can't keep track of them all. From people dropping